So Steve Becker's been asking us all week to name our worst free agent signing so far. So, Bull, I'll start with you.
Yes, please.
Of all the free agent signings, all the teams.
Yeah.
Our EP wants us to do this topic, so we will oblige because we love Steve Becker.
Yes.
What is the worst free agent signing of free agency so far?
That's easy. I've been saying for weeks because at one point G. Bush kind of wanted this guy for the Browns. And to me, it's easy. Saquon Barkley is the most overrated running back in the NFL. He in 3 of the last 4 years, he's averaged less than 4 yards per carry. 3 of the last 4 years, including last season. The guy's had 2 great years in his career, 3 good years. The other 3 years, all in the last 4, have been disappointing. He is 27 years old. He'll turn 28 right towards the end of the season. He's had a lot of injuries, and you paid him the biggest quarterback money, I think, since Christian McCaffrey. Again, he's living off that first year where he was a superstar. To me, he's been an adequate back since year 3, since 2020, outside of 2022, 3 of the last 4 years. So I have no faith he's going to stay healthy. He's missed 23 games in the last 4 years. That's 6 games a year on average. The Eagles just blew it. Their defense was a disaster last year. Their coach, I don't know what, he's a clown. And now they got a running back who's overrated. That's my guy.
G. Bush, who you going with?
Listen, man, I almost, let's go with the same team.
Really?
Same squad. Bryce Huff. Who is this guy?
Nobody heard of him before.
I know there's a receiver named Huff out of Oregon back in the day that never really got no tick, but this dude, $50-some million, does he play? I'm looking at the stats. He got like 16 tackles here, 14 tackles here. Like, I know he got a good story, but I mean, is he a special teams guy? Is he going to start? Like, I don't know what the Eagles is doing. Like, you went from a dominant defense a couple of years ago to now you're signing the Bryce Huff side of the world, who's a rotational player at best. And he's going to run down on kickoff. He's their number one gunner for $51 million.
I mean, he's a poor man's Agbo Okoronkwo, and he's getting $17 million a year. I don't know.
I mean, that's even putting it generously. A poor man Agbo, like.
Hey, no playmaking. I just haven't seen no plays. I even went in the YouTube time machine. There was like, it ain't non-applicable.
Damn.
It just came up in a whispered voice.
I bet Jason's going to go with the guy on the Texans because he hates the Texans.
Man, I'm all scared.
I do hate the city of Houston.
Yeah.
Dang, this
But-
is crazy.
No, the worst signing to me, I mean, it's funny that we all picked the Eagles, but
What?
That's crazy.
it's clearly Jake Elliott, the kicker. Who gives a kicker a 4-year contract?
What?
I mean,
You picked the Eagles too?
it's crazy that we all.
$24 million.
I mean,
That is kind of nuts.
who gives a kicker a 4-year contract at $6 million a year when he's 29? We all know about the 30 cliff and falling off the cliff at
100%.
30. This is nuts.
I mean, he got paid as much as Justin Tucker. He's no Justin Tucker.
no Justin Tucker. He
That's
had one good year, and they're
crazy.
giving him $6 million a year.
And they re-up with him like that?
That is
That's
pretty
insane.
stupid.
Yeah,
Why
the-
would you lock in for $24 million on a kicker?
The Eagles clearly are the worst run organization in the NFL.
I mean, they went from the best to the worst in 2 years.
I
It's
know.
hard to believe.
Yeah.
You was in the
Maybe
Super
maybe
Bowl.
the Panthers are worse. I'll say they're the second worst.
Panthers have worst ownership. How's that?
Yeah. They're pretty bad. The Bears are bad, but I mean, the Eagles are right in that mix.
Jalen Hurts.
He's
Terrible
falling
contract.
off.
Terrible contract.
AJ Brown's not happy.
It's
The
kind
Eagles are a mess.
Yeah.
I was hoping Anthony went to get me a water, but
punched.
instead I'm going to
Jason's
die
probably
of
me too.
thirst.
We can see Steve Becker through our VMix channel, and he's laughing. So, Steve, that was just for you.
That was all a joke.
It's all a joke. We don't.
Mine
take those
was
seriously.
kind of half true.
You were kind of serious.
These guys were just messing around, but mine was kind of half true.
The real question I wanted to ask, I know we only got 5 minutes before we got to head over
Yeah.
to WKYC. Make sure you guys tune in for brand new, never before seen content from 12:30 to 1 on
Yeah.
WKYC. But when Saquon went from the Giants to, and there's Steve Becker's text, just LOL. You're welcome, Steve. When Saquon went from the Giants to the Eagles, when Patrick Queen went from the Ravens to the Steelers, Steve's text, we got him. Yeah, we
Geno
did,
Stone.
Steve. Geno Stone. Should fans and I'm all for never telling a fan how to fan, but there's a lot of negative reaction when he goes to the rival. You're a traitor. How could you quit on us? Yada, yada. Should you ever be upset for someone for getting the most money they can, even if it's from a team that was technically their rival for the first part of their career?
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You could do that. They don't even do that in college football no more. Transfer portal is popping. What you think? Like nowadays, it's so crazy. The portal's so crazy that they'll send you a Dear John letter. Thanks for all the memories that you've given me. I will always remember what you've done for me. But I'm going to Alabama because I'm better than playing at Northern Illinois. Now, look, if I'm not begrudging college kids, what do I care about? No, like that don't work like that. Get that bag.
Jason, I know you certainly are not emotional at all, so you don't care.
No, I'm dead inside.
Mercenary.
Yeah. There's only 32 of these teams out there, or depending on the sport, 30 or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
And this is these guys' livelihood. It's their living, and they didn't like people who grew up a fan of that team. Like it means everything to them. These guys are hired mercenaries, and they are drafted to a team or sent to a team into a city. And then when they have an opportunity to go make real money, they're going to take advantage of it. I've said before, I am all for capitalism.
Yeah.
Go make every dollar you can, regardless of where it comes from.
I
Which
think
team.
there are some players that wouldn't go to rival teams. There are some, if they have a choice at least.
I will say.
I think there have been, certainly in the old days more than now.
We talked about this. I mentioned that LeBron told us I could never play for the Warriors. But that's not so much a rival as what they've built.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with.
But it's not a
hates
rival,
wars.
but it's a player saying I could never go play for
Isn't
them.
that all about his legacy and really more than that?
Yeah.
I don't think Ben Roethlisberger would have never played for the Browns.
I bet he would have.
Yeah, I
If the
think
Browns
he
had,
would've.
if
If
he
they
had been a
offered
free
the most
agent,
money, yes, he
I bet he
would've.
would have. I can understand. For example, so as a Cubs fan, the teams I hate the most are the Cardinals. As a Cubs fan, the Cardinals. But because I grew up in New York not rooting for the New York teams, I kind of hated, well, when I was a kid, I actually hated the Mets more than the Yankees because when I was a kid, the Mets was a rare time where the Mets were better than the Yankees in the 80s.
Yeah.
But I hate the Yankees too. So the Yankees, the Mets, and the Cardinals are three teams that I hate. But I've kind of softened on the Mets over the years. So now it's really the Yankees and the Cardinals. So when the Cubs won the World Series and Dexter Fowler went to the Cardinals next year, or last year when Wilson Contreras signed with the Cardinals, or really the worst when Anthony Rizzo went to the Yankees, I wasn't mad at any of those guys.
Right.
Why would I get mad? That's their livelihood.
Right.
But it's a bummer when it happens.
Sure.
When Joe Hayden went to the Steelers, you're like, couldn't he go anywhere? But that's the Browns' fault. They cut him. You know,
cut him,
so
yeah.
I'm never going to get mad at a player. But yeah, it's like if Anthony Rizzo was playing for any team but the Cardinals or Yankees, I'd be happy when he has success, but now I want him to fail because I want the Yankees to fail.
Right. I mean, Clemens played for the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Right.
Johnny
There's been a lot
Damon
of guys
played
who
for
have
the Red
played for
Sox and
both.
the Yankees.
There's very few people who you would say you hate to see them play for. Like if Nick Chubb played for like the Steelers or the Ravens,
I'd kill you.
I wouldn't like it, and that's only.
But you wouldn't be mad at him. You
No,
just would hate it.
I just wouldn't want to watch.
Right. It would be. It would suck if that happened. Oh my God, that would be terrible. But think about Joe Flacco. Right? And Ravens fans weren't, attached the same way, I guess, but
Ravens fans were happy. I heard from a lot of Ravens
Yeah.
fans that were happy for Flacco because I don't think they really viewed the Browns as a threat, frankly.
No.
Now, it might have been different if the Browns went to Baltimore for a playoff game. That would have been
Yeah.
different. But
That's true.
Ravens fans were thrilled for Flacco's success. And there's some, he had a pocket. It's sort of like Cleveland, although the entire city of Cleveland loved him. There's people in Baltimore who loved Joe Flacco and just thought he was
Think
terrific.
about it. They had Willis McGahee. He played for the Browns, longtime Raven. You had Jamal Lewis, longtime Raven, played for the.
What's
Dave
his name?
Jacksonville.
Trent Dilfer?
remember,
Trent Dilfer?
what's his name? The white lineman, Paul Kruger. Remember we
Paul
signed him?
Kruger. Yeah.
That was
I
a
remember
big
everybody
deal.
was big excited about that
listen,
side.
we
Davian Clowney.
Kruger.
No, but Clowney.
Clowney
He
went the
wasn't
other
loved,
way.
but
Cleveland
just
to
saying he
Baltimore.
wasn't loved.
But the guys we're talking about had been Clowney came here first.
I was just saying, guys that played from one to the other.
I know, but
Not
nobody gave a
lifers.
crap that he went to the Ravens.
Kruger was the football version of Swisher, man. We thought
You're right. Everybody was excited.
Man, we thought we had us a pass rusher, and all he had was that hop, skip, jump.
Nothing.
Smooth.
He did nothing.
And he got, yeah.
Some guys you think if you get more playing time for that guy, he's going to be good. He was the opposite.